the co-host of The Breakdown with the Nate Ness, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the most electrifying co-host in podcast history with the most electrifying segment in podcast history with the Davis Division. Here is Connor Davis. Okay, so yeah, got better.
We have two situations, two teams that don't know what they are doing whatsoever. You got a team in Indiana and you got a team in Nevada. And neither one of those teams know what they want to do in terms of their franchise. And we talk about quarterbacks being the leader of the franchise. That's the people that are going to take you to the promised land, to the Super Bowl. You got to have a good one.
True.
You got Aidan O'Connell and you got Joe Flacco. Two guys that were starting and now they're not. So they bring in the people that were starting previously that got benched for Aidan O'Connell and Joe Flacco. Let's start off with the Raiders. The Raiders.
You got to do it like a
Yeah, you've done it so much, and you can tell. He's got it down to us.
All right, so
you got it down to a science. You got it down to a science.
He does.
You know what it is? It's a combination of the Road Warriors.
Oh, what a rush! Yeah, I know, Bruce. I know,
you know, Connor. I know. Anyway, continue, please.
But I want to go through each quarterback situation for Indianapolis and for Las Vegas and see if they're making the right move, because these are people that have already been benched previously in the season, and now we're seeing them come back on the field because the people that were benched for did not go to meet their expectation, right? But the people they're bringing in didn't meet that expectation either. So now you're bringing in somebody expecting something that neither one of the quarterbacks you had in previously could perform. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about Las Vegas. You had Gardner Minshew start week 1. Aidan O'Connell came in midway through the weeks, and then now you have Gardner Minshew starting for Las Vegas. These are two franchises that don't know what the heck they're doing. Did they make the right decision bringing Gardner Minshew back, or should they keep Aidan O'Connell and ride with them?
All right. I'm going to start this off. So, first things first, the first reason why Gardner Minshew came back is because Aidan O'Connell broke his thumb. I want to make that very clear. Aidan O'Connell would have kept starting otherwise. He got injured, was out for multiple weeks. That's why that situation happened. It also got so bad to the point with Gardner Minshew, round 2 or 3 or whichever it was, that they brought in Desmond Ridder. And Desmond Ridder was playing meaningful minutes for said Vegas team. I know. All three of these. It's like all three of these quarterbacks, it's either you're between a rock and a hard place. They fall in the middle. You aren't getting a viable option regardless, and it really sucks because they signed Minshew to a $16 million guaranteed over 2 years. He's going to be around next year. Wow. That's kind of why they're more or less leaning towards him at this moment, because they know none of these three quarterbacks can answer. They're going to take something in the first round of this year's NFL draft. There's no real doubt in my mind about that. They know they can't keep rolling out these sub-mediocre guys. So whether it's the right option or not, none of the options are good in the first place. It don't matter who it is. This team's going to not be great. They're going to go take a rookie like ideally Shedeur Sanders, maybe Cam Ward, but they don't got much. They don't got much.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And frankly, I think that their record is reflective of the quarterback options that they have. Let's just put it like that. And the best quarterback for that franchise right now is a minority owner. His name is Tom Brady. That's the best quarterback that the Raiders have right now. All right, so that being said, they're going to suck, and I do agree with you. Ideally, They're shooting for the top 3 pick, and whether that be Shedeur Sanders, whether that be Ward, whether that be Dewars, I don't even know who would be the ideal person for that or for them. But Minshew will be a backup next year, and they'll probably end up having a starter rookie as their starting quarterback.
I don't like their situation. If you're gonna sign somebody,
The
you
fact that it
probably
was Gardner
should.
Minshew was like,
Yeah, you probably should keep them in. I mean, it's a business, right? You're running a business. You want to win, but you're still running a business.
Mhm.
You got to play who you're paying. It doesn't matter. I mean,
look at Deshaun Watson in Cleveland.
Yeah, they played him regardless because they're paying him that much money to play. It's
Yeah, but how far along do you go with that until you're screwing over the other
Yeah.
52 players in that locker room?
Yep.
Because you're also paying them too.
And you're right. It took Deshaun Watson's injury for Jameis Winston to come in and beat the Ravens, and then
it made it a lot easier to make that decision.
Yeah, but it goes to, and I'm not agreeing with this fact that you put in who you pay. I'm just saying that's the reality of it, because the NFL is so business and politic convoluted now.
Well, it's an investment. It sounds bad, but it's an investment. Players are investments, and they want to make sure that their investments are maximized and they're on the field.
But what I don't understand, and we're gonna get to Indianapolis, and I'll wait to say this when we get to Indianapolis. But okay. Indianapolis starts with Anthony Richardson, and I could tell you, and I remember saying this: a guy that didn't even throw for 3,000 yards in college went 16 for 9. Touchdown to interception ratio in college, played one full season in college. You're going to draft him top 3 because of his athleticism. You weren't drafting a quarterback. You were drafting an athlete and a project. That's who you were drafting.
You're drafting potential. But that's
and that was what I was saying before
his
that
potential is high.
I don't think his potential's high. He hasn't shown me anything as a quarterback.
So
his potential's high as an athlete.
I want to start on this one, honestly. I want to start on this one. I'm actually kind of glad. And Connor, I'm sorry. Did you have more on that, Connor? Did you have anything else on?
Well, I was just gonna say, to make it short, Joe Flacco came in for Anthony Richardson. They didn't like Joe Flacco's performance. Anthony Richardson's back in Sunday.
It's a completely, but and those are two completely different types of quarterbacks there. Because as you already alluded to this, you have an athlete at the quarterback position who can run, who is pretty damn strong, but as a quarterback, it's questionable if he's able to be the decision maker that you need back there at the quarterback position. And then on the other side of it, you have Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, the old seasoned veteran, who's a pocket passer, who's going to be behind the offensive lineman. And frankly, their offensive line isn't very good. So that's the reason why it's kind of nice to have that athletic quarterback run away from the pressure. But I digress again. But they, on the other hand, again, I'm going to go back to what I said about the Raiders. The Colts are a reflection of their record as well. Currently, they're at 4-6, and I believe second in their division. The Texans, exactly. But they have mediocre quarterbacks, and it's producing mediocre play right now because everything else around them isn't as bad as what you would expect. And frankly, that division isn't very good either.
No.
So because of that, I actually do think it's a good thing that they went back to Richardson, because you have to figure it out. You have to know, like, this is his second year. His next year's what is his third year. You got to fit. Next year is like the decision year. You either shit or get off the pot. So you got to figure it out. I just don't like the fact. I think it was more of a situation where when he was tapping himself on the helmet saying, I need a sub. Like, you can't do that as a quarterback, because the quarterback
was tired, Bruce. He was tired.
Right, shit. You should be in shape. So I've never once seen Jaden Daniels. I've never seen that him as a rookie, like as he's running around or doing other things that he does, tap himself on the top of a helmet saying, I need a sub. Justin Fields, I never saw that when he was with the Bears. Never once saw him when he was running away because they had a trash ass offensive line. I never once saw him say, sub, I need out. I never saw that. And I do think that was part of the reason why they ended up bringing him, putting him on the bench. I really do believe that. Do I think it's right? I mean, that's subjective to the respective area, and it's subjective to the captains of that football team and the coach. Me personally, like I'd be pissed off. Like I get it. You needed a sub, but brother, like you're the quarterback. You need to be in shape. You're an NFL professional athlete. You need to be in fucking shape. So, to go back to the original point, though, I actually am glad he's back in because he is the best quarterback for the Colts at this moment. And it gives them the best opportunity to review and for him to either grow or for him to just be another guy that's going to be a journeyman quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah. So when I've talked a lot about this whole situation of Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco and whether it's the right decision or not. And what I've been saying since the get-go is, as a franchise quarterback that the Indianapolis Colts are viewing Anthony Richardson as, you cannot expect to tap out and not have some sort of punishment for that. He got benched for 2 weeks. I've been saying very clearly it's a week by week decision. You can't just decide, oh nope, he's not going to come back in at all. Week by week decision. Joe Flacco did not look good these 2 weeks. I hate to break it to you. It wasn't great. I hopefully in this time span, Anthony Richardson learned and was like, all right, I know he knows what he needs to do to be the better quarterback. The front office, the coaching staff, they knew there was going to be growing pains with Richardson. We've seen him. Are we going to keep seeing the same growing pains, or is he actually going to show us, hey, I developed a little bit. Hey, I'm not this guy. Where the Colts are at, they are 4-6. Yes, they're second in the division. They are fighting for a wild card spot. Washed up Joe Flacco is not going to get you to where they want to be. They have to bet on the upside of Anthony Richardson. If it performs, great. It's going to look a great decision. But if we see more of the same and we see if it continues to not be good, then there's a decision will have to be made. But this was the right move. This was something they kind of had to make. I feel like if you kept trying out Joe Flacco, it would have just gotten worse.
Yeah, the magic it was just gone. The magic was used
the
up
magic
last
has
year.
been gone.
The Flacco magic was on the Browns last year that we all saw and we loved.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say something, though, about this.
Go for it.
I'm going to say right now, Jesus couldn't make Anthony Richardson a good quarterback. You bring Anthony Richardson as a project to Indianapolis. This is a car that is so beat up and so out of shape that a mechanic of the highest quality could not touch it and make it any better. Because you brought in an athlete and wanted him to be a quarterback. Sure, he was good in college. You know how many good college quarterbacks there were that have never made it to the NFL? I could name so many on my fingers and toes. Just because he's good in college don't mean he's going to transition well. But he wasn't good in college. He had that one. You know how Kenny Pickett got drafted high because he had that fake slide? This is the exact same thing with Anthony Richardson. He had that one play where he ran around 100 yards and 100 yards. Spencer Rattler was a 5th-round pick. Get out of here, Jack Gaffney. He wasn't a 3rd overall pick. Get out of here. Get out of here. Spencer Rattler was 5th overall. His expectations are a lot different than a 3rd overall pick. Thank you very much. If I'm drafting somebody 3rd overall, I tell you right now I was not going to draft Anthony Richardson. I wasn't going to draft somebody just because he could jump. That is it basically. You're bringing him in for Shane Steichen to work on because you're like, okay, this guy's a quarterback. He can play. He's an athlete. And I just told you not even Jesus could make Anthony Richardson a good quarterback because he's not a quarterback.
What about Tim Tebow?
Go to college. You cannot. Tim Tebow was good. Tim Tebow was good
I'm
in
kidding,
college.
bro. Oh my God, no.
Tim
Let's not
Tebow
go
was
down.
good. Don't,
Oh,
yeah, but don't,
I hate this.
don't
I
compare.
hate this is where we went.
Don't compare
I hate
the
this is where we
greatest
went.
college quarterback
He
ever
is.
to Anthony
I love
Richardson.
Tim Tebow, bro. You're
Yes,
going to
Tim
the wrong
Tebow.
person.
Tim Tebow was good in the NFL as well. You just didn't get an opportunity. But I digress.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson is not a quarterback.
He's
an athlete.
like this.
When you go not even 3,000 yards in college, and I get it, he was playing the toughest competition there is in college football.
Oh, here he
When
goes.
you don't throw 3,000 yards with the receivers you had at Florida, Florida gets some dang good recruits. They are a big recruiting powerhouse, Florida is. You can get some good players over there. And when you can't make moves and you can't make stats, get out of here.
Hey, I actually have
Come
no beer in
on.
my fridge. It's kind of funny that he put that.
That's
up.
why this is even funnier.
I
I
have
have
no.
nothing firm.
Oh, what'd you say, Si?
You got that means that makes it even better. You're offering absolutely nothing for Anthony Richardson.
Do you know what
That's
I
for
would
his-
turn Anthony Richardson into if he came to New Orleans? Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
That's
There
exactly
it
who he would be.
is. There
Because
it
Taysom
is.
Hill is the most athletic Mormon I have ever laid my eyes on. And Anthony Richardson could do the same thing.